What's up, everybody? I knew I was going to make this video, but yesterday I was just so tired, man. I couldn't. And honestly, it was really this morning. But this video is going to be about what you can do to save money because the previous video was me just putting it all out there about the fact that I made some really bad financial decisions and I just worked on, hey, I need to give the other side so it's not just negative and that's that. Now, of course, I did say, yeah, so don't borrow money because this is what happened to me when I did it. And the most serious underlying issue is really just the responsibility or the lack of it, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all human and impulse buying is a legitimate thing. And if you're weak to that, then man, you're not going to have a good time. So I put together this list, just today about how to save money. And this is something that I could obviously use myself, and I am actually using myself. I have been using it lately. But just like with diseases, prevention is better than the cure, or not even just better, but easier. Like don't even get yourself in a financial hole and try to dig your way out, because digging your way out takes a lot more effort than if you were to just say no in the first place, right? So here's the thing. Number one, dude, don't borrow money. I had to put that out there, bro. Buy everything in cash, bro. Like, I don't mean cash as in paper money. I just mean like, that dude got me down the stairs, didn't he? But anyways, I'm just talking about if you have a card or whatever, just pay for everything on a debit card or just in cash. Do not borrow money. Now, obviously, having a credit card can be a useful thing. And if you know how to do it right, and if you have genuine responsibility and discipline, that's the word I was looking for. But borrowing money just gives you access to messing up, to making a mistake. And a lot of us make that mistake. That's why a lot of us aren't doing so good financially. So let's just mitigate that by not borrowing money, bro. That's just my take. I have the opportunity to get another credit card, and I have been able to get another credit card. If you can get a secure credit card, that's the best way to go when it comes to credit card. Wow, I can't even. I'm sorry, but this gameplay, that's so embarrassing. I'm just going to keep going. Look, that's just the thing. A secure credit card is something that you can build your credit with, but it's basically a debit card. You can only use the money that you have put on it yourself. You can't borrow from the future. Borrowing from the future is exactly what gets a lot of us messed up, right? So that's it. Don't borrow money, guys. Seriously. Now, number two. Really, probably this is number one, honestly, but understand what you're weak against and plan against that. What do I mean? So what are you weak against financially? Me personally, I'm weak against buying food, bro. Like, if I can just get a one-time food item for like $20 and it's going to last me all day or even today and tomorrow, I'm going for it. And that's just because I want to. It's not because I should. I'm not saving money. It's just I'm doing what I want to do, right? So that's not a smart idea. I'm weak against food. So basically I'm saying, understand what you're weak against and plan against that. Well, how do you plan against what you're weak against? Well, that actually goes into the next step. So the next step is, before you buy something, give yourself 10 minutes and come back to it and ask yourself if you really want it. That's a genuine tried and true strategy. Now, the good thing is that the strategy works. The bad thing is, if you have low discipline, you're going to have to refresh those 10 minutes every 10 minutes, especially if it's something like food. It's like 10 minutes. Oh yeah, okay, I thought about it. I don't really need it, dude. And then 10 more minutes go by and then you just think about it and you're like, I do want it though. But it's still a tried and true strategy that really does work. It just takes, it's suffering. And what you're going to find out is a lot of these things are suffering up front versus suffering later. And that's something that I actually heard in a lot of other people's video, is like, you're going to have to go through pain. You're going to have to go through suffering. We like literally, even like the Buddhist religion is literally suffering is what existence is all about. Because that's the one thing that every single human has in common. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, white, black, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Suffering, we all suffer. So choose your struggle, right? Like, I'm going to choose to struggle now and do the right thing, study up, get things together. and win, or win later? Or are you going to choose to say, discipline, throw that out the window, don't care, I'm going to buy everything and I'm going to waste all my money, and then I'm going to be broke and then wonder why I'm homeless in 7 years, things like that. So that's just something I had to point out, because it really is like that. It really is like that, guys. It's really hard to uh be honest and straight up being like, yeah, dude, but it really is just like that, brother. But long story short, yeah. So plan against it. Take those 10 minutes. Ask yourself if it's going to be something that you're going to deal with and you're going to be willing to deal with, or if it's something that you should even deal with. And then keep going, man. So number four, basically, because the number 2 and 3 kind of went to each other. But number 4 is, honest to God, if you're going to go out and hang out with friends and stuff, and that, you have like a aptitude for spending money just because you can, man, leave your cards at home, bro. Leave your credit cards at home. And nowadays, it's not that easy. I mean, it's not that it's not that easy. It's actually easier to leave them at home because we have these things called Apple and Google Pay. So take those things off your phone and then leave your cards at home so that you can truly spend no money. Cash App too. Whatever you keep your money, wherever you keep your money, just take it off your phone, leave it at the crib when you go out to hang out with your friends. If you're gonna like go to the bar or something, of course that's a whole different story. You're gonna spend money, but you know, if that wasn't the plan in the first place, just leave it at home, brother. Leave it at home, sister. Just do it. And then you can't spend money, right? So that's really important. And this is like just the straight up honest to God truth. These are things that, now this is an advice right here that I have not taken myself. If I take this advice, I guarantee I'll be saving like 100 every 2 weeks at very bare minimum. So that's something I have to think about. But unfortunately, at times I do use Uber and I need to use it, but not nearly as much as I would believe. So I might have to take my own advice on that one, man, for real. And that's just the fact of the matter. And okay, so let's just go straight to number 5. Set a limit for eating out. Okay, what does that mean? Well, whatever your budget, can tell you, or however much money you want to save. So, if you're the kind of person who spends $25 a day eating out or just doing Uber Eats and stuff, that's, 7 days a week, 25, that's $175 a week. So let's just imagine you want to save at least 100 of those dollars. Well, instead of eating out every day, if you eat out every other day, then that will, so, don't eat Sunday, eat Monday. Don't eat Tuesday, eat Wednesday. Don't eat Friday, eat Saturday. That's right there. That's $75 spent for the week and $100 saved. Now, obviously, you already ate Saturday, so same deal, right? Don't eat Sunday, eat Monday. Don't eat Tuesday, eat Wednesday. Don't eat Thursday, eat Friday. Oh, but then eventually it's going to be like, oh, we're going to eat 4 times. But if you do every other day versus every day, then you're already saving half your money right then and right there. So that's already a win-win. But that's basically what I mean. Like, put a limit on yourself and actually stick to it. And like I said earlier, man, a lot of this stuff just comes with discipline. And yeah, I could use more of that, guys. I really and truly, I could use more of that. So, I mean, if you guys have anything else in the comments, anything on your mind, hey, help me out, bro. Because I am better now. I am getting better on a regular daily basis. But I just personally feel like it's really late in the game and I need to play catch up instead of trying to play catch up. I need to hurry up. You know what I mean? That's how I'm feeling about it. So if you guys have any extra things you need to add, like, please, by all means, go ahead, because I will be thanking you genuinely. So I want to point out my guy Rhino. Yesterday, or a couple days ago, I made a video called "Entry Level Jobs Are a Scam," and he wrote a very long passage for me. And he basically was the one who said, man, I make some great points, but he worked his way into IT and certifications with no degree. He climbed that without the degree, but it took a lot longer to get to the place that he was at versus if he were to had just get the certification. And in that video, I mentioned, hey man, if you can get a certification, and that's the one thing I will say, if you need to borrow money to get a certification, do it. That is just straight up. And the thing is though, like, he climbed the ladder and eventually he even just said climbing in that area, even if you don't like it, if getting the certification, even if you don't like it, what you're doing, the fact is that you can make like 30, 35 an hour, and then you can genuinely do anything else from that because you're making so much money that you can do whatever you want. So once you start making crazy money like that, then you can, spend $6,000 after a couple months just to get another certification in another field that you actually want to be in, but you can afford it off of a 40-hour work week, because a 40-hour work week for a lot of people, dude, say you get paid weekly, a 40-hour work week for a lot of people looks like $700 or less. And $700 is being generous because that's like 20 an hour. But a lot of people get 18 an hour and a lot of people get 16 an hour. And then it starts going down drastically. So how much is that really? Okay, so it was 700, but now it's down to like, 600, maybe even 580 in a week. And the thing is, that's not terrible, of course, but you don't have much freedom. You don't have much financial freedom. You don't have much freedom to not go to work. You have to do what you have to do to make it by, make it by and keep going in life, right? But that's not what we're trying to do. So my guy Rhino Zero underscore really just laid it out, saying just do what you got to do, get a certification and get a job that pays you over 30 an hour, and then you can start making good money. Even if you hate it, then you can pivot from there into something entirely different. And oh my gosh, such a long but such a knowledgeable passage, dude. But eventually he ended up getting a 4-year degree because it was a base requirement to get another job that he wanted to get, and it was like an HR job, I believe. And at the end of the day, he got it, and he appreciates the heck out of what he did for himself. So he started off early and got it going. And I actually have another friend who is completely retired. This dude, his parents was really good to him and taught him really good things, but he started working on his retirement at 14 years old, bro. And basically he owns, like, he's kind of like the Burt's Bees guy. Like, he has his own bee colony and he does stuff with them and makes money from honey and all that kind of stuff. And he's rich than a mofo. He contacts me every now and again saying, hey, how's it going and stuff. And I'm like, it's going, that work life, man, we're doing it. And he's like, yeah, I'm retired, just bored, And I'm like, damn, that has to be a great problem to have. You're bored because you're retired and rich, I'm not asking to be rich, but I'm just like, hey, I know there's a different way than just doing the same old, same old. So, hey, man, let's get it going. You know what I mean? But that's enough on that. Basically, my guy Rhino Zero underscore just talked about how just, even if you hate it, just make sure you're doing something that's going to pay you. And I'm really thinking about certifications every single day, because there's one certification that I did get for aerospace engineering. Not engineering, I wish it was, but it was aerospace composite fabrication. I can work on helicopter parts and stuff. And at the time I was making 14 an hour, so it really wasn't all that. But now these Spirit aerial systems is starting to pay like 25 base. But the thing is, they're about to get a $5 raise, dude. And now I think it's 23 base actually, but that means 28 an hour. That's a lot of money, dude. It might not be 35, but that's 28. And if I got this what's it called, certification. Really, I need to finish 2 classes to get it, but I have all the general knowledge, and I even have work experience. So I'm thinking, like, if I can get on with them and I can get 30 an hour, dude, that might be my breakthrough. And then I'll just go back to college and, finish that certificate and then possibly get more money. I've been thinking about that really hard lately, but that's just something that I've been, I'm just yapping right now. I'm actually going to change the name of this channel to Yap A Lot Gaming. I was literally going to do that. So Game Chat, it was just kind of like a standalone thing for, while it's here. But I think I'm going to change it to Yap A Lot Gaming, guys. I'm not joking about that one. But yeah. So another thing that you can do, right? Because I think we already got to number 5. So number 6. Oh no, I think we're on number 6. So work overtime if possible. This can be a double-edged sword though, guys, because it goes right back to what I was talking about earlier about, so what are you doing when it comes down to, like, if you work overtime, the more money you make, the more money they take. First thing first, right? More money you make, the more money they take. But the other thing is, the more money you make, the more money you might want to spend because you have it. When your paycheck is big, your eyes and your desires get big as well. That's why people say more money, more problems, and that's legitimately true. So it's something that you have to taking stride. Like honestly, I would test the waters. If you even have the possibility to work overtime, I would test the waters, work some overtime, and then see how you spend your check. And if you're going to spend your check and just spend all the overtime money that you made on something that you know you didn't need, like food, just because you're making more money, you're going to spend it, then you might as well just not. You know what I mean? You might as well just stay at home or just stay out of work and enjoy your actual life. Because at the end of the day, we're all working so that we can have a better life for ourselves and those younger than us. I don't have kids, but a lot of people do. So, they work for their kids and stuff. That's why people work. So to increase the quality of life, right? So if you're going to work overtime and just spend all your money away, then screw overtime, dude. Unless it's mandatory, of course, then you don't, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, it could be a double-edged sword. So just tread lightly on those waters, man. And then now these are like the legitimate things that anybody can do, but a lot of people might not think about. But so number 7, unplug everything before you go to bed. It might seem minuscule, but depending on where you live and literally like the county, they charge different amounts of money depending on how, by wattage or by ohms or however the energy is, I don't know, talked about over there. I don't even know. But energy prices differ by county and county. And, that's just how it is. So it's just unplugging everything. And also, if you live in an apartment versus a house, if you're in an apartment, then you're going to be paying less for all your bills because it's actually shared between the whole building. But if you live in a house, then you are actually going to be paying more in general because your unit is your unit and that's your building. And there's no one else to there's no average to get. You are the average. They're not adding up all these different people and all these other residents and then, getting the range. And, I think it's when you add all of them up and then divide by how many different people there are. I'm not sure if that's how they do it, but I'm just like kind of giving a small example. It's going to be more regardless if you're in a house. So it matters a little bit more. But unplug everything before you go to sleep. If there's just excess power running and you don't use the internet while you sleep unless you, listen to what's it called, black noise or something, and I'm guilty of that, so I'm putting it out there. But if you can do that, you might save $20 a month, just something small, but saving money is saving money, right? Now, the last thing I'm going to speak about here is honestly getting a free hobby. Because a lot of people go out on the weekends, they go to the bar, they spend hundreds of dollars, quite literally hundreds of dollars over the weekend, Like some people's hobbies is just genuinely going to concerts and going to anything live that's happening that costs money. I don't blame you for loving that stuff. I don't blame you for enjoying that stuff. It's genuinely an experience. So if that's what you like to do, that's what you like to do. But if money is a concern and it's something that you want to have more of in your pocket, then by all means, maybe limit it to instead of every weekend, maybe every other weekend or even once a month. Or maybe that's the time when you do work overtime, in order to get that going and actually still have money in your pocket as well. Because, dude, everything's going up in price. Literally, food, even concerts, tickets, shows, electricity, phone bills, you know what I mean? Video games. I'm sorry for yelling, bro, but Nintendo, my golly, I am not happy about that. But and then, hey, that's video games, like a hobby that's it. Hey, man, video games becoming a luxury hobby, dude. It's not really looking like a hobby for the average person anymore, man. So that's actually something to think about as well. Free hobbies, man. So free hobbies include going to the park, one-time payment, buy a basketball, buy a football. If you have friends, hang out with them, you know what I mean? Do that kind of stuff. So me and my friends used to go to the park all the time, like literally every weekend. Every day we had off, really, we would just go to the park. We would literally be silly and play tag, like as adults, like 19 years old and stuff like that, as adults playing tag. And we don't do that anymore. We don't go to the park very often, but we do still just hang out. We go to the house, we play a couple games of Smash Bros. We play, listen to music, talk about life, what's happening recently. We don't have to go to the bar. We don't have to spend a whole lot of money to have fun. But the times we do, it's pretty fun though. Like we don't go to the bar, but when we do spend money, it's kind of like having a little bitty party with the friends. You know, my friend's birthday was just last weekend, and we showed up. I showed up. We just hung out, had a couple of hot dogs grilled. Had a couple of pies and stuff like that. Just cool stuff. Nothing that costs a whole lot of money, but it does cost money. But it's not something we do very often. But getting a free hobby where you just go outside and experience life, just talk to people, that's free. So, I mean, getting a free hobby is great, man. So with that being said, that's actually everything I had to say. This video is definitely a longer one, but I feel like it is justified to make this video based off of the last video I made, because the last video was just genuinely about how I messed up, and I was already planning to make this video, but I was just so tired, man. It was 3 a.m. and I'm like, dude, I shouldn't even be up right now. And I'm never staying up at 3 a.m. again, dude, because it just didn't feel well. I was tired, and then I didn't get good sleep after. So I'm like, whoa, I gotta go to work tomorrow and everything. This is not fun, brother. But regardless, that's everything I had to say about this video. I really hope you guys took something from this. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the content. I really hope that I helped you, because even if, the funny thing is, hypocritical people give the best advice because they are living in the opposite of what they want. And I am, like I said, I am one of those hypocritical people to a degree. I am getting better on a daily basis, and I am doing better right now. And I was doing better before I made this video. Like I was doing better months before that. But then I got fired and my savings kind of just went out the window because I had to pay rent and bills. And then I had to go see family. A lot of things happened. But I am pretty much starting over, almost starting over on my savings and everything. But that debt stuff, yeah, I could have paid that off a long time ago. So that's really where I feel the most guilty, is just having that debt, because I don't even have an excuse. Like I could make, if I work a lot of overtime, dude, I can make $1,000 in 1 week, bro. Like I can do it. And it's something that I not just can do, I must do for myself, for my honor, honestly. Just to actually show that I am worth, like, not worth anything necessarily, just to show that I not even show anything, just to have some freedom. You know what I mean? Like, who likes debt hanging over their head like a dark cloud, bro? Because that's something I have to pay every month, and then I'm paying interest on it. So it just doesn't feel good. So that's what I mean. I must do it just to do better, just to feel better, just to not have that weight on my shoulders, knowing that if I were to lose my job again, hey, my debt, I'm definitely having debt now. You know what I mean? Like, no, dude. So once again, I really hope you guys found legitimate value in this, and hopefully you guys learned through what I just said in my experience and the things that I've done wrong. I genuinely hope that you guys learn to not follow that path. But I also really needed to go ahead and tell you guys about good ways to save money. And I'm sure there's one more. Get on those apps, always have a coupon available. I know, like, we don't use those very often, but I used to use them, and I used to save like $20 every grocery trip I made. And saving $20 versus saving no dollars is great. So yeah, that's another thing. Bonus. But all right, guys, you have a good one. I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching again, man. I'm surprised I even got subscribers in the first place. So thank you guys for even joining the crew. This has been Yap A Lot Gaming. It's right now game chat, but it's soon to be Yap A Lot Gaming, and I have yapped a lot. Yeah, that's how I'm going to end the video.